Hello, and welcome. Today we will be discussing a topic that has inspired movies, books, and even myths. It is a story of conquest fueled by a life of hardship, and it still inspires research today. This is the story of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is known by many lights. He is seen as a conqueror who unified all Mongol people in a George Washington-like fashion. But others see him in a much darker light, as a murderer who methodically killed thousands of people from Asia to the Middle East. But one thing is agreed upon: Genghis Khan will never be forgotten. But we must start at the beginning, before he was the great Mongol lord, to know the whole story. The Khan was not always the famous conqueror. Genghis Khan was born Temujin, grandson of Kubul Khan, but he would later change it to Genghis Khan to show the position he now held as lord of all steppe people and emperor of the Mongol Empire. Temujin would lead a hard life. As a teenager, he would be captured by one of his father's enemies, and after a period of time would finally escape. But hardship would follow young Temujin. As a young man, his wife would be captured by an enemy, and after a period of time, leaving many to question the legitimacy of his first son Jochi. Temujin would lead his Mongols against other Tartar tribes in a modern-day Mongolia until he had finally subdued all tribes under his banner, until finally the final battle against Ong Kong, king of Mongolia. Then, in 1207, he would take the mantle of Genghis Khan and declare war on China. The Khan would start with Zhongdu, the northern province, and after a few decisive battles would control all of northern China. Genghis Khan would try to push further into China, but due to climate and shortage of supplies, his conquest of China would be cut short. But he would finally achieve his goal of conquering China at the end of his life, and soon all would be under his control. After conquering northern China, the Khan would turn his attention to the west. He would send out scouts to survey his neighbors, which ultimately would lead to conflict. He would clash with a small kingdom of people very similar to the steppe nomads of Mongolia. There, to his surprise, his mortal enemy Kuchlug would be found hiding among these steppe people. Kuchlug had challenged the Khan's right to rule, and Genghis would soon deal with his enemy. After his enemy had received the Khan's wrath, he would continue west, and what we consider the classical world would soon see the Khan's power firsthand. The first was the Khwarezmian Shah Muhammad, who was lord of the Muslim Caliphate or kingdom that stretched from Persia to northern Africa. The Shah would clash with the Khan but would be defeated and driven from his home. The Shah would finally die all alone on an island in the Black Sea surrounded by Mongol warriors. Now, with the destruction of the Caliphate, Genghis Khan would look towards Kiev Rus, or modern-day Russia. Kiev was a fractured and feudal society ruled by various princes. This lack of unity would come back to haunt the princes. Unfortunately, the Khan would die before seeing the final battle, but his son Ogadai, the new Khan, would take up the crusade. Eventually, a final battle where the Mongols ambushed the unorganized Kiev princes at a narrowing in the land would lead to the fall of Kiev. Shortly after the invasion of modern-day Russia, the Khan would fall ill and call his armies home. There, he would turn on his eldest son Jochi, who many believed to be illegitimate because of the Khan's wife being taken prisoner. So his second son, Ogadai, would take the mantle of Khan and would lead the Mongol Empire. Just as much of the Khan's life would be shrouded in mystery, so too would his death. He would be buried in an unknown location that is still undiscovered today. Genghis Khan lived a life full of conquest and battle. Born Temujin only to become Khan of Khans and lord of all steppe people, and forging one of the largest empires seen in the medieval world. The Mongol Empire would stretch from Korea and China in the east to modern-day Russia and Persia in the west, stopping just short of the Aegean Sea next to Greece. Although Genghis Khan would die before seeing the completion of this empire, his son Ogadai and later his grandsons would complete his goal of a vast Mongol empire. Thank you for watching, and as the Khan himself said, may the eternal blue sky guide you.
Created using Powtoon.